Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me. Today I'll be making a set of thank you cards, and I'm gonna be using this gorgeous stamp set from Concord and 9th. As you can see, it has a huge leaf stamp and also this watercolor effect stamp that you can either stamp separately or on top of this leaf here. They kind of match together. This set has also another tiny leaf and a small heart and some very beautiful sentiments. So I've already mounted my leaf stamp here, and today I'm gonna be experimenting a bit and we'll play with my distress paints. So the first distress paints that I'm gonna be using are Spiced Marmalade, Fossilized Amber, and Antique Bronze. And the Antique Bronze is one of the metallic distress paints. You'll have to give it a good shake so that the metallic mixes with the paint. So I'm just gonna shake this well, and I'm gonna ink my stamp with these paints. And the first one that I'm using is the Antique Bronze. I'm just pressing on the bottle and the paint will come off this tiny sponge that is on the cap. Next is Fossilized Amber, and I'm trying also to blend the colors, and I'm gonna be stamping onto a piece of vellum. As you can see, I have my rubber mat underneath. I can get a nice impression. Okay, and here is my stamped leaf. I don't know if I will be able to catch the metallic look of that Antique Bronze. Okay, so I'm gonna put this to the side and leave it to dry. You can also speed the drying process with your heat gun. This stamp reminds me of the skeleton leaves, and if you don't know what skeleton leaves are, I have a tiny one here. There are a lot of tutorials online on how you can make your own skeleton leaves from real leaves. It's a whole process, but you can see all the veins in the leaves. Okay, so I'm gonna put this to the side, and I have here a piece of watercolor cardstock, and I'm just gonna spritz this a bit with water so I can get the most out of my paints and waste anything. Just a couple of sprays, and I'm gonna stamp this one more time. You can stamp this various times until you're left with no paint on your stamp. Okay, I'm gonna stamp this one more time without adding water, because I see that it has enough moisture. Okay, so this is with more water, this is with less water, and the more you stamp, the more defined you will get the design. You want to make sure that you clean your stamps when you use distress paints. Just add water and wipe everything off, otherwise it will dry on your stamp. You will be able to remove it, but it will be a bit more difficult. I'm gonna be using some different colors, and I have here Lucky Clover, Bundled Sage, and Forest Moss, and the process is the same. This Lucky Clover is a gorgeous color. And if your sponges do contaminate, you can just wipe it off onto some clean paper and the paints will come off easily. And just look how gorgeous these colors are. You can create a lot of cards with this technique. You have to add paints, and you can like stamp 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 times with that paint. Okay, love it. And the last colors that I'm using are Mermaid Lagoon, Cracked Pistachio, and Squeezed Lemonade. Stamping the leaf one more time, and this time I'll be doing some embossing. I'll be embossing this with the Simon Says Clear embossing powder. And while the other leaves are drying, I'm gonna be coloring this one with my NUVO Mousse, and I have Indian Gold, Fresh Copper, and Cosmic Brown. So I'm gonna be adding a bit of this mousse. And as always, when I'm using my NUVO Mousse, I will use my finger to pick up the color. I'm just gonna rub it on top, and you can see how it goes into those crevices of the embossing that I did, and that embossing resists my mousse. I'm going over the lines because I will be cutting this out as well. Ooh, this is a beautiful color. This looks like chocolate. And here is how the mousse looks on this vellum. Now this is a bit moist. You can see the gorgeous shimmer that the mousse adds on the vellum. I'm gonna be giving this a quick heat set with my heat gun. Just trying to capture all the beautiful shine and shimmer. Okay, so I'm gonna cut all my leaves out. I will be using my scissors, and we'll see once everything is done, so we can go ahead and complete our cards. And here are all my leaves cut out. I love how these paints dry, and when you run your finger on top, you can feel a bit of texture there. You can see the shine on this one, and it's not because the paint is wet, but it's the metallic that I've used. And this is the one where I've used the mousse. It warped a bit, but I don't mind, as I can use my heat gun and shape it. And also I love that it kind of has a natural shape. I'm gonna be quickly stamping and embossing the So Very Thankful from the stamp set. And here are all my sentiments. I just trimmed them to smaller pieces. And for my first card, I'm using the Nina Desert Storm cardstock, and I'm gonna be stamping this wood grain background. This is from Concord and Night as well. I'm gonna be quickly inking this up with the Memento rich cocoa. So I'm going to be using one of the watercolor panels that I've stamped, and have my sentiment on top like this. But to be able to adhere this, I'm going to be punching some holes. And I'm just going to take some Maillards twine. I'm going to thread it from the back. I'm just gonna tie it in a bow on this side, and I'll use a bit of fun foam to add some dimension. And that finishes this first card. I will be probably adding some more embellishments at the end. I'm going to be adding some splatters of gold, and I will use the same NUVO Mousse. And for my next card, I've embossed a white panel, and I've used this embossing folder by Craft, and this is called Diamonds. Here are all the finished cards. I've just added a couple of sequins here and there. I also used some pattern papers to back my panels. This one I've adhered onto craft foam, and I've used a cream cardstock and one of the vellum leaves that I trimmed out. Here is the embossed background. And the most simple one, where I've added the splatters, the gold splatters. I could have done many other more, as I have a bunch of other leaves left. As you can see, this is a great set, and you can have a lot of fun with just a couple of stems from the set. I also wanted to tell you that if you use the distress paints for stamping, once the paint is dry, it's resistant to water, so you can use other watercolor based mediums to color on top, and the paints won't move. So that's it for today. I hope I gave you some inspiration. I thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye bye.